Have you ever wondered what true intelligence feels like from the inside? Not the kind you read about in test scores or IQ charts, but the silent, pulsing current that runs beneath the surface of everyday life. I used to think intelligence had a face, sharp eyes, fast words, the confident glare of someone who always knows the answer. Turns out, I was wrong. Real intelligence hides, moves through the world quietly, almost invisible, so often you miss it standing right in front of you. Maybe even in your own reflection. Before we dive deep into this exploration of the mind, a quick reminder. If you're searching for self-awareness and personal growth, hit subscribe to join the Growth Mindset Project. Don't forget to click the bell to get all our new videos delivered straight to your feed so you never miss a moment that could change your perception. Let me take you inside what it's really like to carry an exceptionally high IQ, or, more honestly, what it's like when your mind refuses to rest, turning ordinary days into a landscape of constant, invisible complexity. I don't say this with pride, but with a sense of trembling awe, sometimes even exhaustion. My experience, stitched from fragments of psychology and a lifetime of secret observations, is not about showing off. It's about what you can't see, about the hidden mechanisms and burdens behind a mind that never truly switches off. And so, let's unravel these 10 subtle habits. Some of them I'd forgotten about until now. Others, they haunt every hour. First, the habit of talking to oneself. If you've ever caught yourself mumbling in a quiet room, whispering through the logic of a problem or rehearsing the possible outcomes of a single email, know that you're not alone and certainly not losing control. Psychology calls this externalized thinking. It's more than a quirk. For me, it's like organizing chaos. Each word spoken out loud catches a wild, racing thought and tethers it to reality. Richard Feynman believed in it, too, explaining ideas to himself as if testing their sharpness. There's comfort in converting the noisy highway of thought into a single, clear lane. It's not instability, it's survival. Second, overthinking, the curse of seeing infinite layers in every simple question. Sometimes I pause, lost in thought when others are waiting for an answer, because my mind is running rapid-fire simulations, chasing risks and hidden meanings. It is metacognition taken to the extreme. While people urge me to keep things simple, I am already tangled in a web of cause and effect, threading details most people never notice. This isn't always a gift. The price? Exhaustion. A cruel irony? Analysis can paralyze, trapping me in those endless corridors. Third, boredom. Rapid mastery, followed by sudden disinterest. I hunger for novelty. When there is nothing left to discover, a fog descends. Repetition somehow drains the soul, and what the world perceives as laziness is the mind's way of telling me. This environment is starved of challenge, the dopamine well runs dry. I used to judge myself for this, but now I see boredom as a quiet plea for richer soil, for elusive mysteries. Fourth, self-doubt. Here's a bitter paradox. The sharper my mind, the more aware I become of my limitations, of the vast, dark ocean of the unknown. I wrestle with imposter syndrome, constantly measuring myself against a horizon that always moves farther away. Others praise confidence. I live with a haunted humility, forever asking, have I missed something fundamental? This isn't weakness, it's the burden of seeing how incomplete all knowledge truly is. Fifth, nighttime awakenings. The world sleeps while my thoughts bloom in midnight silence. There's an odd clarity to these hours, when distractions fade, complexity dances unashamed and ideas come alive in quiet solitude. Evolution says this is unnatural. I say, it's the only time I feel unmasked, safe to dive deep. Most won't understand, but for those of us wired this way, the darkness is our breathing room. Sixth, sensitivity to noise. The click of a pen, the hum of a computer, footsteps echoing down a hall, I feel everything, all at once. It isn't fussiness, it's a trait of a mind with broken filters. The world enters all at once, bright and jagged, forcing constant adjustments. This sensory flood sometimes makes me retreat, not out of arrogance but necessity. It's the price of an ever-alert radar, which has its advantages but costs peace. Seventh, procrastination, but not what you think. The world scolds delay, branding it as laziness. But there's an art to holding off, to letting problems ripen in the back of my mind. Leonardo da Vinci painted slowly, letting ideas ferment until they emerged transformed. In my world, deadlines aren't fences, they're launch triggers. Under pressure, thoughts crystallize. What looks like idleness from outside is often incubation. My mind is always at work, even if I seem to wander. Eighth, forgetfulness for the ordinary, crystal clarity for the profound. I remember complex concepts, long sequences of numbers, the texture of a childhood memory. But I lose my keys, miss appointments, forget birthdays. It's not neglect. My mind simply discards what doesn't feel relevant or intellectually enriching. The world finds it amusing, sometimes frustrating. For me, it's the mind conserving itself for the fires that matter. Ninth, deep, raw emotion. There's a stereotype that intelligence builds walls, but that's not my story. My heart breaks easily, beauty wounds deeply, injustice cuts sharply. I feel everything, sometimes too much, exposed and raw. This sensitivity, I've learned, is not a flaw but a second sense, opening doors to empathy and human understanding. I've wept for strangers, carried stories that don't belong to me, felt invisible wounds pulsing beneath my skin. To think deeply is, often, to feel deeply. Try as I might, I cannot turn it off. Curiosity, the unrelenting 10th habit. Above all, what defines this journey is a hunger that borders on insatiable. I have always needed to know, not just what, but why, and when the why run out, I chase the why behind the why. I cross boundaries, read books outside my field, question ancient truths and seek new meaning in the cracks of everyday life. If you ask me my greatest gift, I would say it's not intellect but wonder. The drive to devour the universe, to never settle, to keep the awe of a child long after the world says to pack it away. To me, intelligence is not a destination. It is a pilgrimage, a devotion with no finish line. If any of this resonates with you, you are already part of a rare company. The ones who watch quietly, who ache for more, who never stop asking, who am I, really? Take a breath. That restlessness, that imbalance, those questions, they are not defects. They are the fractures where curiosity and insight pour in. Real intelligence, in my experience, is not made of numbers or metals. It is the ability to bear uncertainty, to find beauty in ambiguity, to endure the loneliness and the privilege of perceiving what others miss. It is carrying an antenna too keen for this noisy world, blessing and curse, a trembling, impossible gift. If you recognize these habits in yourself, I invite you to like this video and pause to share your own experience in the comments. There is comfort in connection, finding those traveling the same hidden pathways. Do you talk to yourself in empty rooms? Lose yourself in spirals of thought or the ache of beauty others don't feel? Your story might echo in someone else's heart tonight. Before we close, remember to hit the bell so you don't miss the next exploration into the mind's hidden rooms. And if you're searching for more, click on the video now appearing on your screen to keep growing with us, one question, one revelation at a time. This is the Growth Mindset Project, and I'm grateful you've made this journey with me. Until the next discovery.